below. I want to know, are you team self-care or you're, wing it? I go moment by moment. Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Melissa here with another video. You already see I'm in the car, so you already know what that means. As a matter of fact, let me take off my seatbelt. You read from the title, you already know what we're going to talk about, so let's jump right into it. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this video. Even if it's, in the middle of the night, a late comment. I love that you guys listen, you watch, and then you comment. I love it. Y'all are some of the most vocal people, so I love it. Down below, I want to know, are you team self-care or you're, wing it? I go moment by moment, or you're very intentional about your mental health. And also, let me know what you think about well, no, we'll talk about that in a minute. So first got to know Naomi when she was in a match with Serena. Okay, so I think she's 18 years old, and she came on the scene. We found out about Miss Naomi when she was in 2018, when she was set to play against Serena in the finals. So if you watch that match, let's go back a little bit and talk about that. First of all, um if you Serena is much old, so I think Serena's in her 30s and Naomi's 18, at the most 19. Don't quote me, but she's a very young girl. She is of Japanese and Haitian descent, and if you see her mannerism, she is so coy, she's very sheepish, she's very humble. And a lot of that, if you don't know about Haitian and or Japanese culture, that culture is very, very, very big on respecting elders, and also just respecting people that you admire, and also just having a decorum about yourself and different things like that, generally speaking. So Naomi is just, she's a gorgeous little girl, and again, when I say little girl in any of my videos or whatever, it's just a certain age. To me, you're still a baby. I could have called her a baby, but anyway, if you don't have a tennis eye, when she was playing Serena, you would really think that she was underwhelming, because she is quite boring in a sense. Like, she's not grunting, she's not aggressive. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna call her boring. She's not aggressive, she's not an aggressive player, but she hits the mark. She hit the mark so much that in that match with Serena, putting aside the fact that Serena was really, really facing some challenges, I believe, as far as the officials were concerned. If you follow Serena, this was the match where she lost it. The calls were awful. It was just the worst. It was a very bad match to watch. If you love Serena, also if you wanted Naomi to win, I was team Serena, but at the same time, Naomi, I felt bad for Naomi, because all throughout that match, you could see it on her face. Like, she could not even enjoy the moment. It just looked like it was gut-wrenching for her to play Serena under those conditions. um Long story short, she beat Serena. Some will argue a lot of the calls that the officials made wasn't wasn't fair, it wasn't accurate, and so it was just a very odd thing to watch. It was hard to watch Serena. If you love Serena, it was hard to watch her just kind of break down, you know, set by set. Not necessarily because of Naomi, but that was part of it, because Naomi was playing, but also because of the officials. And that was the call, when she was fussing at the official and everything else. Fast forward to the award ceremony. We get to the award ceremony, and Naomi literally had her head down. She was the victor, and you would have thought that she got defeated. And not only got defeated, she got pummeled and got injured. Like, it was the worst thing to watch. Number one, I felt so bad that Naomi couldn't enjoy her moment because the crowd was booing, rightfully so. Like, I really felt like there were a lot of calls that Serena might have lost anyway, but the calls were just awful, and Serena just lost it. She lost it. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. But the other part about that is, Naomi, it she couldn't have her moment, even if she wanted to have her moment. Fast forward to 3 years later, Naomi tweeted this. So when Naomi tweeted that tweet, I knew she wasn't okay. I knew she wasn't okay after that match. I'll unpack it in a minute. I knew she wasn't okay, and but I figured she just wasn't going to do press, and she would still. She put out that tweet and she announced she withdraws because of mental health. So that launches our conversation. So let's get started. There's so much to unpack here because when you're talking about mentor mentee relationship, number one, and then you look at the culture aspects of Naomi's culture, I absolutely positively know it was hard for her to be in that match with Serena. Unlike American kid would have stomped Serena from one end to the. When I say American born, I just mean a different culture, like, because I think Naomi is American, but I'm talking barring her cultural influence. So I know that, there are some kids that like, you know what, yes, I'm playing my mentor, but do you understand the mentality behind that, especially if you're very humble? Naomi is probably one of the humblest people that at least demeanor wise, that I've ever seen. And she cried in that moment. People booed her. She tried to give her speech. Serena had to console her. Literally, as she was accepting her speech, she couldn't talk. Serena was like, "No, this is your moment. Like, talk." So I knew, just knowing people and knowing having discernment, and just knowing the psychology behind all of that, I knew Naomi wasn't okay. So I was not surprised by the first text. I was not surprised by the first tweet when she tweeted, "You know what? I'm not coming to the press. Find me, do whatever, but I'm not coming." And then when she stated, the mental health issues and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, she's not okay. So as far as I'm concerned, I am team do whatever it is that you need to do to protect your peace. I am all for it. There's no amount of money, there's no amount of space, there's no amount of anything that's worth my peace. So I am really happy that she chose peace. If that is bugging her to the point where she knows I can't do the press, I can't be out there right now, I can't do that. So if she knows this, I'm happy for her. In an article I read, she stated that she was not okay after that incident, after that match. So I am all for her doing whatever she needs to do to be okay. Even if it means forfeiting a large amount of money, because she probably would have been a finalist, if not the winner of these matches that are coming up. Serena expressed her support for her. Venus expressed her support. So many people expressed their support for her, and I do. And in the light of where we're at today with mental health and making sure that we are all taking care of ourselves, kudos to her. Leave a comment down below. When you are in a situation where you're really overwhelmed, what do you do? Are you team self-care? Do you keep pushing? In some moments you have to keep pushing. Absolutely. Shout out to all the single moms out there. um I was one, and I understand you got to do what you have to do. So a lot of times single moms and single parents, forget moms, single parents don't have a choice. People who are just kind of carrying the load by themselves, they don't have a choice. But you could still have self-care in that moment. And self-care has always been a real big um, thing for me. Sometimes indirectly, because I'm the type where I believe in a good nap. I've always believed in a good nap, and so I love a nap. I travel by myself. I will go locally and travel by myself. I have, when I was preaching and teaching and encouraging and mentoring women, I would tell them, there's nothing about being a hero to say, oh, my kids need me, I could never go away for the weekend. Well, you probably would be better. Now, I'm not telling you, you have to do what I do, but I would go away for the weekend. My husband would know where I'm at. But and I would go like a Thursday or a Friday, put that do not disturb on the door, and literally for the first 2 days I would sleep. I usually would come down for breakfast, grab what I need to do, go out for lunch, I'll go shopping or whatever. But I love the fact that, number one, I prioritize my mental health, And I believe that Naomi should do the same thing. You make sure that you do the same thing. But I love the fact that I'm surrounded by people that encourages that. My husband encouraged it. Where you want to go? Okay, get this room. Just drop. Well, we didn't drop locations back then, but nowadays, yeah, let me know where you're at. He would come up there and spend some time or whatever, and whatever. But essentially, my point is, whether it's that or a bubble bath or reading or I believe in me time, and I love the fact that my children respect that. Even at a young age, those of you with toddlers, some of you are like, well, that's easy because your kids are all grown and you have two teenagers. you know because first of all, I know people that have teenagers and the teenagers do not respect their boundaries at all. And not only not respect their boundaries, do not respect their need for a break or anything like that. So no, that's not that. But also, I encourage you to train your children. Like my children were trained. Let me tell you, if it was nap time for me and they still wanted to toddle around and do whatever, I would um close my room door, lock my room door with them. I would put them in a room with me, put on whatever show that they want to watch. There's nothing in my room that it's available to them where it will hurt them. And they sit there and watch whatever they need to watch or whatever. Or they're going to get in bed with me and we're going to take a nap. And that's the funny thing about it. Like, you create the tone for your household. My kids are nappers to this day. Are they all nappers? Yeah, yeah. When they need a nap, they're like, and I don't, and we don't like, oh, get up. Why are you taking this nap? I recognize, when, especially, my kids that are and have been in sports and in activities in schools. All the kids, like, just because my one kid that was in the choir is not the same kid that did cheers, so she don't need a nap, because you're just in choir. No, I recognize that school can be hard. Take a nap after school. I don't care. My kids are very good about their own personal health, self-care. They will tell you, no, I really don't want to do that. Or, can I stay? It's a 4-day weekend, can I stay home? We're not doing tests, and can I stay home? And I am all for it. I am all for protecting your peace. Kids need mental health days too. So anyway, back to my story. So Naomi, it's a shock, that was heard across the world, as they say. And Naomi dropped out of the U.S. Open, and you have some people that are supportive of her, and then there's some people that don't understand. I read a very interesting comment, and I kind of get where that person is coming from. They were like, she hasn't been in that space long enough, because that was her breakout match when breakout year 2018 was her breakout year. That's when we were really introduced to her. So somebody said this year, once they found out the decision that she made, she hasn't been out there long enough. So what is she upset about, or what can't she handle? So my take on that is this: you have a good point. Yes, she has not been out there long or anything. But one thing I can tell you, just judging by the comments that I get and the misconceptions and all this other stuff, and I'm nowhere near on exposed as she is. I know that Naomi probably was bullied. People talked about her. I saw the comments that people were saying as far as her beating Serena. She shouldn't have. She should have conceded. Just foolishness. So here's the thing: if she recognizes that this space that she's in as a public figure is too much for her, kudos to her. That tells me that her mental health is prioritized. So yes, she there's nothing wrong with saying this space is too much for me. It's the same thing with other YouTubers, other people online and everything else. This space is no joke. It's no joke at all. And you have to be able to, in order to survive, I'm telling you, number one, you have to have a thick skin. And because you're gonna be misunderstood, you're gonna be in places, and not only that, you part of the misunderstanding, the personalities. People are gonna make their own assessments, and I'm completely okay with people making their own assessment. I'm also not going to down Naomi because she decided to do some self-reflection and say, you know what, this space is not for me. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that this is too much for me. You have your right to your opinion as far as that's concerned. I know I've read some comments on some of the videos. I've seen comments where people will be like, not me, but other people need to take a break from social media. And sometimes I've seen people post like, I'll be back. Like, it's too much. I know for me, I hate, one thing about social media is um you're just bombarded. If you're on it, you're bombarded. You know, you could just scroll information. And psychologically, okay, that's a lot better. Psychologically, I don't think that our brain was intended to consume so much information at such a fast pace, at such a high volume. I don't think that that was the design of our brain. And regardless of what her reason is, what it is that triggered her, the fact that she was able to recognize that this is not where I need to be in this moment to be the best person for the job, for the match. The fact that she recognized that she needs to back down, kudos to her. I encourage you, if you're watching this video, make sure that you do whatever it is that you need to do to protect your peace, to protect your space. There's nothing wrong with going for long drives, going away for the weekend, doing whatever it is that you need to do. There's things that you can do on the cheap end. There's things that you can do on the very expensive end to protect your peace. Leave a comment down below. Let's talk about it.